Hello everyone, so this is my first video on this channel. I have other channels, but this is the premiere video. For this video I'm going to talk about my experience auditioning for Busch Gardens. I'm auditioning for their 2014 season. For anyone who doesn't know, maybe it's in the Midwest, Busch Gardens is a very popular theme park. There's one in Tampa, Florida, and one in Williamsburg. I auditioned for the one in Williamsburg because I live in Maryland. And being a performer there, they give you money for housing. They help you out, at least. And there's places around that know that people come to work at Busch Gardens, so they offer temporary housing. So for anyone who's wondering, like, how are you going to get there? Because Maryland and Williamsburg are like 3 hours away. So anyways, I had a very crazy weekend. On Saturday, I drove to Pittsburgh and back for Cedar Point audition, which I will be doing a video on to talk about my experience with Cedar Point. And then I came back home to Maryland, packed up some things, drove to Fredericksburg, Virginia, stayed there for a night, and then drove down to Busch Gardens and back while there was like a blizzard going on. It was only rain in Virginia, but it was still really annoying when I got to Maryland. And yeah, so this is my experience. I auditioned with Busch Gardens about 2 years ago for their 2012 season, so it was in 2011. However, I have changed a lot since then and just gotten a better audition song and more confidence and kind of know what I'm doing. Sorry if my voice sounds weird. I've been really tired and I think I'm getting sick, which I'm glad it waited to lose my voice until after auditions. I wasn't like hurting my voice or anything. Anyway, so I'm going to talk about this year as opposed to the year before that I auditioned. So normally Busch Gardens has a audition tour, which means that they go to like all these different cities, like even like Oklahoma sometimes, like all the way over there to look for talent, so anyone in that area can audition and then possibly get a job at Busch Gardens, and which is really awesome because I mean I don't think I could be able to do it full time since it is 3 hours or 4 hours away really from my home and where my boyfriend is, but they do have like spring work, summer work, Halloween, and then Christmas, and then you have like a little January break, I guess. So it is really good work for anyone who wants to perform professionally full-time. I'd love to do it full-time, but again, I don't know where I'm going to end up with my relationship and everything like that. So anyways, so usually they have a tour. Apparently they're having like 5 more auditions, but they just haven't announced them yet. And the last time I auditioned, they had like their whole plan, like their whole tour like planned out. But for now, they only had one audition, which was today. And I thought it was like the only time, but apparently they're having more. But it's still the best to go to the first audition in the season, and this was actually at Busch Gardens at their training office for entertainment. So anyways, I woke up at my hotel around 7. I was ready by 7:30, and I ate breakfast and was out the door by 8:15. And it took me about 2 hours to get there, so I first went into like, because I was following my GPS, I first went into like the actual entrance of Busch Gardens, and I was like, where am I going? And then I finally looked it up on my phone, and it was like, take this exit to get to the employee entrance, and that made more sense. And so I found where I was supposed to go, and there were signs telling me, register here, so I had to register, and lo and behold, there was a guy that used to work for a company that I worked for over this last summer that hired singers, and so we would have we would do entertainment, and we would also be like the servers, and so it was really cool that I got to see him again, and it's always great when you know somebody. So we got to talk and everything. So I just filled out my little my form, my audition form, and also a release form, which I already printed out because it like said you have to have this. Also with Busch Gardens, which I haven't done yet, you're supposed to fill out an application before you go to the audition. I just got really busy traveling and everything, so I'm going to do that before I go to bed tonight. But make sure you fill out an application for employment for them. so that they, have you in the system. So anyway, so I registered, and they had us in a little holding room with some other people, and there's like 10 people there. Like, there was like nobody there, and I was like, okay, this is great. And it was in the morning. It was female singers, and later on it was male singers, at least, and also like technical interviews. And then like the next day they were having dancer auditions, and then like the day after that they were having musician auditions. So anyway, so I got there in a nice timely order, filled out my form. I had to do measurements, which they provided, tape measures, and so I did my measurements, and yeah, I went to the bathroom, and I came back, and it was literally like they called me and like 4 other people, like the only other people that were there. And so I went. I was the last person in the group, and they took us over to like a dance studio, which was in the very small little offices for the entertainment department. It was just this tiny little dance studio, but so we had to stand in this very cluttered hallway. Well, it wasn't cluttered, it was more like claustrophobic. It was a very small hallway, but it was okay. I was with like 4 other people that currently work there at the Christmas town, and they were so nice, and they answered all my questions, and they started a conversation with me and talked about it, and I was literally like the only person that was new. So it was really great, because it was like, here's a fresh new person among all of the other people that we're gonna rehire anyways. So I'm hoping that means I really stood out, hopefully. So again, they were really, really nice. So I just waited in the hallway, and it was funny because they had posters from like all the way from like 1970 to like today for like their auditions, and it was just funny looking at the old pay rates and everything. So once it was my time to go in, I went in. It was like completely like a normal audition, nothing really special. Went in, talked to the accompanist, and then I sang "Not for the Life of Me" from Thoroughly Modern Millie, and they were really nice. They were like, good job, like, apparently I did a good job, and they told me, which never happens in auditions. And then they're like, what else do you have? And I told them, and I had planned on doing Beautiful by Christina Aguilera, and that's what I ended up singing, but they were wondering what else I had, because I really didn't have many pop songs in my book, because it's hard to sing a pop song with piano accompaniment, but you had to do piano accompaniment. There was no other choice. So I sang Beautiful by Christina Aguilera, and they kind of were like nodding and said, good job. They're like, thank you so much for coming, and they were asking me questions about, wow, you're all the way from Baltimore, like, you drove all the way here to be here? I was like, yeah, and I feel like they knew that I was dedicated, and that I drove I drove 4 hours to get here, but it would be worth it to me to work at Busch Gardens. So I don't know, it really felt like I had like a smile on my face when I left. I literally had a smile, like my smile was there until I realized that there was a blizzard in Maryland, and I had to drive through it. But it was such an amazing experience. Like, even if I don't get cast, like, just knowing that I impressed them, and that they were really, I just felt really good about it. And I later found out that the person in there who now runs the entertainment is Bob Klein, and he is a Broadway casting director, which is pretty crazy, but it's you never know when you're gonna run into the right person, right? So yeah, so that was my 2013/2014 Busch Gardens experience. I realized there's really no videos on here on YouTube talking about Busch Gardens auditions. And then now I'm going to, I know this video is extremely long, but it's important to know everything. Now I'm going to talk about my experience 2 years ago. And keep in mind, 2 years ago, I had no idea what I was doing. I had been like, oh, I've been in community theater. I still had some time to go, and I auditioned again for Cedar Point back then, and for Busch Gardens, and didn't make either of them. And honestly, it really wasn't a good audition. I didn't feel good about it like I did today. So anyway, so my 2011 audition, in comparison, this was when they had their tour, and it was the same day as the Cedar Point audition, and this year the Cedar Point audition was on December 7th, and they had like Busch Gardens had already like started their audition tour, and this year they've only had one audition so far. So I think that means they're not going to have as many auditions. Like maybe they have enough people to, they only need a few more. I don't know. But so it was the same day in Pittsburgh, so I kind of just killed two birds with one stone. I went to the Cedar Point one in the morning, and then I hit the Busch Gardens audition in the afternoon, which was funny because a lot of people ended up doing that, like kind of double dipped or whatever. So I went in, and it was in this hotel, and there's like a lot of people there, and you're like, there are so many people here, and this is only one city. So it felt like, crap, I'm not gonna make it. And I didn't make it, but my audition was terrible. So they took us in like groups of, I want to say 8, and it was really, really cold in there. I do remember that. And it was just in this big conference room, and they had chairs, and it was like, okay, sit here, and then one person would get up, sing their song, and I sang both my songs, which were terrible choices. It was Almost There from Princess and the Frog, which is a good song for my range, but it's a Disney movie song, like, no. And Someone Like You by Adele, which is just, at that point, every girl wanted to sing that song. Horrible choices. And you could just tell the lady, it was like one lady, and she wasn't at the audition today. She was just like totally unimpressed with me at that point. So I felt so crappy about that. So it felt so nice today, so refreshing that like I know that I impressed them, even if I don't get I don't get the job. Like I felt so good about it, and that's really what matters. It's just I felt so amazing about it. Today they didn't have a dance call. I'm not sure if they have dance call like normally. Again, it was mostly people that just worked there, and they were just kind of reapplying for their job. They did have one girl like learn music for the Celtic Fire song or show, because it's like really high and stuff. Like there's like one singer in that, and the rest is Irish dancers. So you might possibly have to learn something and come back. But again, she did work there, and like she was coming back that day, so I don't know. But anyways, that is my Busch Gardens audition experience. It was a lot of fun. I'm so proud of myself that I did it and I didn't mess up. It felt so good, and yeah, just keep checking their website, and they'll probably be coming to a city near you. And even if not this year, try next year. I've seen their shows on YouTube, and it's amazing that somebody's paying you like $13 an hour to sing and dance. Like, people have complained like, oh, Busch Gardens this, Busch Gardens, but like to me that is such an amazing experience. I would die to have that just in the summer because I'm still in school. But yeah, I really enjoyed today, and I'm really, really hoping. I feel really good about it. Like, I really feel good about it. So I'm hoping it works out. I'll let you all know how things turn out, and yeah, see you guys later. Bye.